Hello, and welcome to Songs for the Struggling Artist, the blogcast. This is episode 354. My name is Emily Rainbow Davis. Thank you for listening to the blogcast. We are moving up in the charts over on Good Pods, so thank you so much to Good Pods listeners and to all of you listening wherever you happen to be listening. So all of that's very neat. Today on the blogcast, we have a blog about the television program The Power, which is based on the book The Power. I don't think there are any real spoilers in here. So if you're planning on watching or reading the book, I don't think this is going to ruin it for you. It might make you want to read the book instead of watch the television program. I have already converted one person who started watching the show and was like, nah, and then read this thing and then was like, maybe I'll read the book. So that might happen to you. I'm just warning you. I think if you've read the book, you will have a hard time with the television program. And I'll tell you why in just a moment. What do I have to tell you? Oh, there will be some sound effects in this blogcast. So, that's not usual. But I put some emoji in this blog. And the only way I could think of to represent the emoji was with a sound effect. So you will hear some sound effects. Just, shaking it up a little bit. Experimenting. Enjoying, new things. So here it is. It is called Lessons in Adaptation from the disappointing TV version of The Power. For years now, I have been hotly anticipating the TV version of the novel The Power. I would occasionally search for it on IMDB or Google just to see when we might get a televised version of this book that kept me going in some difficult years. I was advised to read The Power by a friend around about the time that dragons came into my life, and I feel a kinship with Naomi Alderman and the world she created in her book. In case you haven't read it, it's the story of a power that teen girls develop, which allows them to generate electricity from their hands. It changes the world, and how it changes the world is illuminating. I bought a lot of copies of this book for many of the women in my life. It's been an important book in my recent life, and I hoped the TV series would only further electrify me. I've only seen 2 episodes so far, and so far it has not electrified me. And I'm writing this now to try and understand why, and also give myself some notes in case I ever get the chance to write a TV series. The first episode was written by the author of the book, so I'm baffled by how it could be so disappointing. She wrote such a good book. How could she write such a bad TV episode? It was pretty much all exposition. Almost everything that happened predates the events of the book. It was just one backstory after another, with no real sense of what was to come. It was set up, no payoff. Not much happened. A character who wasn't even that important in the book accidentally set a couple of things on fire, but those events were equally weighted with the posting of some Instagram comments. Another character, Roxy, gets dressed to go to a wedding. Then she goes to the wedding, gets in some arguments, goes home, and then her mother is murdered there. This is pretty much the only thing that happens in this episode. And by contrast, this murder scene is the moment that the novel really begins. There are a few preliminary literary prologues, but then the novel opens with Roxy locked in the closet as the home invaders are killing her mom. It is an inherently dramatic way to start a story. When it begins, we don't know why this person is in a closet, but we learn pretty quickly that she will get out and even more dramatic things will happen. It's funny to me that a novel would be more dramatic than a TV show, but it is, in fact, the case. The author has undercut her own drama with dramatic writing. Lesson for me. Start in the middle of the action. The audience will catch up, and it is much more exciting for them to not know things. The first episode, aside from the murder, was pretty much all backstory. Maybe Alderman got excited to write it because it was the new stuff for her, or maybe TV execs gave her "we need backstory" notes, or maybe, given that there are quite a few playwrights in that writer's room, they all got a little high on backstory. I don't know what happened in this writer's room, but backstory is absolutely a trend in TV writing in these last several years. I haven't read the Foundation books, but I have it on reliable authority that the TV show is mostly invented backstory for the first 20 pages of the first book. That show, too, is stacked with playwrights. I don't know why playwrights are so enamored of backstory these days. Maybe it's something they get drilled into them in MFA programs? But I am not a fan of the backstory. Aside from slowing down the dramatic action, it kills a lot of mystery and intrigue. I don't need to know why someone does something. I don't need to understand why their childhood trauma made them stab someone or whatever. Just have them stab and let me wonder why they did it. If Othello were a contemporary American TV series, it would open with Iago as a child, stumbling upon his mother's affair with Amor or some shit. Can we not just let Iago be a villain who hates Othello for no good reason and goes too far? Can we not have everything explained? If you absolutely have to put backstory in, please wait until we're much further along in the series, when I might at least find it an interesting explanatory flashback. But truly, I'd be happy to have it disappear altogether. Lesson for me. If you feel tempted to explain why someone is the way they are, with backstory or a speech, don't. On a related theme, the TV series has already failed to do something that the novel did beautifully, and that is create mystery. The first thing in the novel, after an epigraph, is a letter from its author, a man whose name is not the name on the front cover of the book. That's mystery number 1. Mystery number 2 is the letter in response to that letter from someone with the first name of the author on the front cover, Naomi, and a reference to this world run by men you've been talking about. This Naomi is titillated by male soldiers and boy crime gangs. And we have to wonder, what is this backwards world? Then when the narrative begins, its title page says 10 years to go. And as the novel goes on, that number counts down. We don't know what happens in 10 years, but we have the whole novel to wonder about it. The TV show opens with Toni Collette at a press conference and then flashes back with a title card that reads 6 months earlier, which is not a particularly curiosity-inspiring title card. Lesson for me. A little thing like a title can create a whole lot of mystery and continue to drive curiosity through a whole experience. Sometimes I feel like I can see the TV executive's notes as I watch a show. In the case of The Power, when John Leguizamo showed up as the mayor's husband, I saw the TV exec's note that said, "We need at least one more good man in this. We need a man who's doing the right thing. We just need a little balance. We got a lot of bad guys. We need a good guy we can root for." So we get this nice guy dad, and we like him because he's played by John Leguizamo, and he's a doctor who cares about teenage girls like his daughter, and he's a good husband who wants to help his wife express her rage. Where would this mayor be without her nice husband? Well, in the book, she's already divorced when the story starts, so we can see where she'd be. In a much more powerful position, truthfully. But because this nice guy character is not at all necessary to the story, they have to come up with nice guy stuff for him to do. They get the mayor mad by having the doctor tell her to not get her panties in a bunch, something no one has actually said directly to women since the 1980s, I think. And then they have nice guy, TM, John Leguizamo, encourage her, a 40-something-year-old politician, to express her rage. First, you're asking me to believe that Toni Collette, age 50, doesn't know how to express her rage? Sorry, no. And then you're asking me to believe that it takes an especially enlightened nice guy doctor to teach her how to break a plate? That she's never been mad before in all her 50 years? Did this character miss the entire Trump administration? Believe me, she's broken plates before, and she did not need her nice guy husband to release her somehow. But they surely added this scene so nice guy, TM, had something to do that shows he's not like the other guys. It feels like this whole character arc is remedial feminism. Like, hey fellas, did you know women could get angry too? Sometimes it takes a little while or some help from a friendly man to express it, but those ladies have a lot of anger stored up if you know how to see it. Lesson for me. If anyone ever insists you put a nice guy, TM, in your work to balance it out, please break a plate and tell them to go fuck themselves. The other note I can practically hear from the execs is to appeal to the young people more. They beefed up the part of the mayor's teen daughter and created some of the dumbest conflict between mother and daughter because somehow they thought it would be interesting to have the teen express her anger on an Instagram-like platform. Don't they know kids don't use Instagram? That's a millennial platform. Kids are maybe still on TikTok. Even I know that, and I don't even have kids. So they're like trying to appeal to teens because I guess the 2 working class teen girls weren't enough. They needed a weird argument where the privileged teen is mad her mom doesn't spend enough time with her. What sort of teens are those? I know kids are closer to their parents than my generation was, but still, do these writers not know any teens? They are not generally wishing their parents were more on top of them. Also, they've weirdly added a teen boy to this family, seemingly so they can explore the ripped from the headlines madness of Andrew Tate and have some conflict between these kids. 'Cause kids like conflict? And they like to see stuff they saw on TikTok on TV shows? I don't know. Seems dumb. Lesson for me. Has someone asked you to appeal more to teens? Don't just write your idea of a teen. Go talk to some teens. See what actually appeals to them. It's not necessarily characters their own age. And if you're going to include social media, please use what they actually use. Believe it or not, I've got another 1,000 words to say about what I'm learning from this TV show, so I'm going to do this in 2 parts. Meanwhile, I'm in the process of rereading the book, just so I can be accurate about the differences. Short version of my rereading experience so far. The book is still good. The TV show is still not. More to follow. So those thunderclaps are supposed to be lightning strikes. I recognize that they probably just sound like thunderclaps. But the lightning strikey sounds, the like electric sounds, were a little jarring. Didn't sound good. Didn't have the evocative quality that a thunderclap has to stand in for a lightning emoji. So not quite on the button of it, but close, I think. Anyway, the show is now complete. I have, in fact, watched all 9 episodes, and I have received many communications, 2, about this piece. No, 3. I've received 3 communications. Maybe even 4. Anyway, the show, is over. There's 9 episodes. I did watch them all. And, I have more to say about it. You'll have this next piece coming up. The next week's blog is part 2 of this piece. And then there's another one. There's another one coming. Because I just can't help myself. I can't help myself. It makes me twitchy. The whole show makes me twitchy. It makes me twitchy. So if you want to talk about the power, if you too have seen nine episodes and feel twitchy, let me know. It does get better, not dramatically better, I will say. Just read the book. So, song. Okay, so electricity is a thing that people like to sing about. I mean, I know I go on about these things, about what there are songs about and what there aren't. And electricity is something there are quite a few. I had a lot of choices. But I went with Oasis. She's Electric. Because of the last line of the song, which is, she's electric, can I be electric too? Which I feel like is the question for my feelings about the book. And what I felt like was sort of missing in the show. Anyway, so I'm going to play you that song very momentarily. Meanwhile, thank you so much for listening. If you like the blogcast, please tell someone about it. Like, review, subscribe. Rate us? Can we do that? Is that a thing people do? Because we have a rating in Good Pods. Is that? I don't know. Do whatever you can. If you know how to do something, do it. And if you'd like to support this blogcast, you may do it on patreon.com/Emily R. Davis. That is the prime spot, I would say. Heavy duty lifting support, good times. Doesn't have to be heavy duty. It's just, that's where I receive the bulk of the support. So there's that. There's Ko-fi. There's PayPal. All those links are in the show notes. And now I've also joined Substack, which is really just supporting the blog at the moment. I haven't figured out how to link the podcast to it. It feels like Substack really just wants you to be only on Substack, which I am breaking the rules of, or breaking the norms of, I suppose. And there is a podcast arm of it, but I think they don't want you to have it elsewhere. I don't know. Anyway, it does feel like it's more for the writing side of things at the moment, but I may figure out how to link it up over there. Also, I just set up a kind of membership thing on Ko-fi, so you can do the one-time payment situation, or if you want to set it up a little bit more like Patreon, you can do that there as well. So, and I am still fundraising for my residency in Crete. If you want to chip in for that, that's amazing. I think I'm going to try and send everybody postcards. I haven't quite figured out how that's going to work, but that's the everybody being everyone who contributed. And maybe some other people too. You never know. So, hey, I think that's it. That's all the business. Thank you for listening. And I'm going to give you She's Electric here in just a moment. What can I say about Oasis? I had a guy I toured with back in 1995, my first job, who was obsessed with Oasis. It was like a part of him. So this one is for you, Yates. And here it is. She's Electric. things I never expected, and I need more time. She's got a sister, and God only knows how I've missed her. And on the palm of her hand is a blister, and I need more time. And I want you to know I got my mind made up now, but I need more time. And I want you to say, do you know what I'm saying? But I need more time. 'Cause I'll be you and you'll be me. There's lots and lots for us to see, lots and lots for us to do. She's electric, can I be electric too? She's got a brother. We don't get on with one another, but I quite fancy her mother, and I think that she likes me. She's got a cousin. In fact, she's got about a dozen. She's got one in the oven, but it's nothing to do with me. And I want you to know I've got my mind made up now.